Hi, everyone. This is Karen Ramsey of Feel Fabulous with Food, and I'm happy to be here to wish you a very happy and healthy holiday and a bright new year for 2021. That's what I'm wishing you. My topic today is about which raw foods we should be avoiding. And the first one I wanted to talk about, because not all raw foods are going to be beneficial for our health. And I had to learn this over time. When I began to follow a raw food lifestyle back in 1994, I was eating a lot of these foods that I'm going to talk with you about today. So before I get started, I want to first ask you to subscribe to my channel, which is Feel Fabulous with Food. And also I do some talks on raising the super healthiest children. So if you could subscribe, and anytime you have questions or comments, please put them down in the comment box. And if you feel like you got value, if you could like it as well. Today, my talk is about foods that are not really so beneficial. It's okay if you have it once in a while, but it's not something you want to have on a daily or even weekly basis. So which foods am I talking about? I want to touch on three of them today. The first one is agave. Now, agave is often used as a sweetener in raw food desserts or raw food party foods. I used to use agave quite a bit when I first came into eating raw foods, and I didn't feel well afterwards. Couldn't figure out why, because they were touted as being so healthy and lower glycemic. But I did find out later on that raw agave is not really raw. There is processing that happens to make agave, and it cannot be raw. So all of those dessert recipes that have agave in them, to make them even sweeter, I would recommend taking it out. Agave is really no better than high fructose corn syrup. And since that's extremely toxic, I would say that agave is in the same category. So I would recommend leaving that out. I used to put it in all kinds of recipes, even in fruit cereals, or fruit, or pour it on top of fruit. So you don't need that when you're eating fresh, natural fruit. That in itself will give you the sweetness that you need. And in a dessert recipe, if you need extra sweetness, use a whole food like dried fruits such as dates. Medjool dates are wonderful. So that's number one, take out the agave. Number two is cacao. Cacao is also touted as a health food. We've read information from some of the so-called experts who say that there is magnesium in cacao. Cacao is raw chocolate. Now it's super tasty. It tastes exactly like chocolate because it is chocolate. It is super stimulating. It contains theobromine, which is caffeinated. It's stimulating. When I have cacao, I can't sleep that night. It just shows how stimulating it is. I'll be up the entire night. So if you want to have it once in a while as a treat, go ahead. I'm talking about on a daily basis. Cacao, raw chocolate is not something that should be in your daily diet. So when I make a chocolate cake now or a chocolate pudding, what do I use? I use carob powder, and I get raw carob powder. There are some places online that offer delicious wild and raw carob powder. It has really good nutrition in it, even calcium, and it doesn't have the theobromine, which is a stimulant. So that's number two, cacao. Number 3 is cashews. So I want to tell you that cashews cannot really be raw because there is a chemical process that is used to take off the skin. So they're not raw, even if they say they're raw. The other problem with cashews is that they have a very high omega-6 content. So in other words, the omega-3 and omega-6 ratio is thrown off greatly by eating cashews. So again, it's not something that you have to completely take out, but I would say avoid it on a daily basis. For the holidays, I even have one dish that has a little bit of cashew in it. But most of the time, I try to substitute cashews with other nuts that are more health promoting, such as macadamias and pine nuts. Now, their omega-6 may also be higher, but cashews really get the award for high omega-6. And we know that we want to get more of those omega-3 fatty acids and not so much of the omega-6. So those are my 3 best tips for foods that would be good to take out on a daily basis. We're talking about the agave, the cacao, and the cashews. If you would be interested in joining my vegan certification course, which is online at feelfabulouswithfood.com, and booking a call with me to discuss how you would fit into taking that course, which includes live coaching with me online to become a vegan health coach. So reach out to me, go to feelfabulouswithfood.com and book a call to become a vegan certification coach. Wishing you the happiest and healthiest holiday ever and a bright and happy year ahead for 2021.